Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be speaking on my experience living in China as a black person. Stay tuned for what's next. So if you guys didn't know, I studied in China for 5 years. I went in 2012 and I graduated and left in 2017. Now, I received a scholarship. I applied for a scholarship to study abroad just because, why not? I don't have rich parents, and so I had to apply for a scholarship, and so I did, and I got through, and I went to China. My first impression or the thought of me going to China was, I don't know, I don't think I really had a thought or I felt a particular way per se. It's just that I knew I was going, and I knew that I won't be around my family, and that was probably just about it. However, when I actually got to China, then that's where everything just started caving in, if you know what I mean. So my first thought or first impression of China was, okay, this is nice, because coming from an island and then going to a bigger country, it's like, wow, you have good highways, good roads, nice buildings, skyscrapers, nice vehicles. Not saying that we don't have nice vehicles, but literally, you barely see an old vehicle in China. Barely, because like all the vehicles are like so nice looking, right? So that was my first impression. However, coming out of the airport and making my way to wherever we were staying, because I stayed in Nanjing. That was once the capital of China several years ago, and when I actually got to China, we had to overnight in Shanghai, because I don't think there was a direct flight. Well, I'm not even sure, but the way how the ticket was set up, we were supposed to go to Shanghai first, and then the following day we will take the train and go to Nanjing. But that's when I realized, wow, these people are staring at me. It made me feel uncomfortable, because I'm like, I'm coming from a place where nobody's staring at me. I'm normal, if you want to put it that way, right? I'm a normal person, but here we are. I'm being looked at and stared at, and people are taking pictures of me, and I'm just like, what is going on? Have you never seen a black person before? And then that's when I realized this place is like a world of its own. They don't know anything outside of China. They don't know anywhere outside of China. All they know is China, because they've never seen black people. Like, I guess outside of seeing them on maybe a few movies or on magazines or whatever the case is, they've never seen black people. And so there we have people staring at us, taking pictures without our permission, and then they will be, sneaking and trying to take pictures, and we can obviously see that you're taking our picture because you make it so obvious, right? And then, of course, we have the touching of the hair. Oh, ni tofa and pyongyang, shama 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 shama, whatever they want to say. And then they will be touching your hair, they will be touching your skin to see if the black is gonna rub off, to see if that's really your color. So that was like a culture shock for me, and I'm sure for all the other black people who have been to China, right? So that was like, I'm like, that was annoying. When I tell you that was annoying, that was annoying. And I don't know, I just felt like, if you come to my country, I'm treating you as a normal human being because you're human. I'm not seeing your skin color as different. I'm just seeing you as another person. But here I am going into their country and they're looking at me as, wow, she's strange. She looks strange. And it's like a big thing. So I would say that I've been popular once before, and that was probably when I was living in China, because I was always the center of attention everywhere I went. And that will go for most black persons who have lived in China, right? So there we have it. All right. So the next thing that I have experienced while living in China is the question of, where are you from? Chinese always seem to ask that question. And of course, I'm black, so I'm different. So they're gonna want to know where I'm from. And most Chinese think or have this idea that all black people are from Africa. So if I'm going somewhere, if I'm taking a taxi, if I'm taking the subway, if I'm just walking down the street, if I'm going to class, whatever I'm doing, and I come in contact with Chinese, the first question they're gonna ask me, Nisha Feijo Renma, Nisha Feijo Renma. No, I am not. I am not from Africa. All black people are not from Africa. Do your research. So that was very annoying. I mean, we have nothing against Africans. It's just that, is that the only thing you know? Like, that's just saying like, if you go to America and then they hear that you have an accent, they think you're automatically from Jamaica, or they automatically think you're from Jamaica. It's annoying. So that was annoying. So they think that all black people are from Africa. And to be honest, I don't even know. Then no, when you do tell them that you're not from Africa and you're from the Caribbean, because of course I can't tell you that I am from Antigua because you don't know where Antigua is. I'm surprised you even know Africa. So I'm not going to tell you I'm from Antigua. I'm just going to tell you, hey, I'm from the Caribbean. And when you do tell them that you're from the Caribbean, they're going to ask you, oh, where is that? And then no, I have to try to think, oh my God. It's a good thing we did geography in class, when we were growing up. It's a good thing we did geography, because now I have to explain to them where exactly the Caribbean is located. Sometimes I don't even have the time. I just say, you know what, I'm from America. Let's just leave it at that. I'm from America, because I'm not into the going back and forth and trying to explain to you where I am from. So sometimes I would say I'm from America, and if I'm feeling like it and if I'm being nice, and I will say I'm from the Caribbean. Now here's the catch. So when I do tell them that I am from the Caribbean, and in Chinese, just the way you say Caribbean is jalebi, right? So I would say, voila is a jalebi, right? That means I am from the Caribbean. So then they would be like, jalebi hai doma. That means Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm like, here we go again. Here we go again. Is that all you know? Yes, I guess you can, relate Pirates of the Caribbean to the Caribbean, because, all right, okay, I get it. But, no, sir, no. And then you're gonna come and ask me if I am a pirate. Really? Really now? No, I am not a pirate. But yes, I'm from the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean, that's Caribbean. So, jalebi hideout, jalebi. Dway, yes, that's where I'm from, okay? And then they will go on to say, oh, ni jia hen piangliang, hao mei, blah, 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 blah. Then they will go on to say, you're from a nice, beautiful country and stuff like that. So, that was very, it's all like living in China. It's like you always have to be educating Chinese about the outside world, places outside of China, because they just don't know. And there's so many Chinese who have never been outside of China. They don't even have a passport. I mean, I guess because China is so big, there are like so many places you can go in China. It's a really huge place. So I can get why, they just live in their own world, It's like a world by itself, But that was an experience. All right, so the next thing that I want to talk about is the lack of not being able to communicate with people outside of China. Let's just say America, home, anywhere outside of China. Because as some of you may know, they block Google. You can't access Facebook. You can't access Instagram. I mean, I could access WhatsApp, but then when I left, I heard everybody complaining about the fact that they started to put a ban on WhatsApp. So that was an issue as well. And so it was kind of difficult to communicate with people, your friends and your family via social media back home. And then that's where now VPN would come into play, right? So all foreigners had a VPN on their laptops and on their phones, because the VPN would allow us to connect to Facebook and stuff like that. However, to find a good VPN, you would have to pay for it, and then those VPNs that are free, oh god, it's always a struggle. Like one time it work good, the next time it don't work good, the whole thing. And it's just like, why do we have to go through this? Like, why can't you just allow access? Just allow access. All we want to do is communicate with our people. That's all we want to do, right? So of course, having a father like mine, who's struggling to use WhatsApp, he better know, but he's struggling to use WhatsApp. How am I gonna communicate with my father? I mean, my mommy not bad because she more into them things, but how am I gonna communicate? So when I first got to China, I literally had to be emailing my parents. Who does that? Like, who sends emails like that these days? Who does that? I literally had to be emailing my father. That was just like, boy, that don't even make no sense. And then it's a struggle to access the email too, because of course Google, they block Google. So there was this thing called an IP card. Like, it's like a phone card where you can buy it, you purchase it, and then you can call back home for, I don't know, maybe about half an hour. I don't remember how long it is, how many minutes you have on it, but I was able to call home every now and then to speak to them. And then, when he got the hang of WhatsApp, then, we would converse on WhatsApp every now and then and stuff like that. And, my mommy good, so she would talk to me on WhatsApp. She would call me on WhatsApp call and all of that stuff. But yeah, it was just everything, living in China, everything just seemed more difficult, right? It just seemed more difficult. It wasn't as easy as what I was accustomed to. And moving from Antigua and going to China, I learned a lot of stuff. Like, I would tell anybody any day, that is an experience. I don't regret it. I mean, I've had some rough days, I've had some bad days where I'm just like, why the hell did I come here? Why did I come here? I should have just gone to Cuba. Because when we were talking about applying for scholarships with my parents or whatever, my daddy was like, oh, you can go to Cuba. I was like, I will not, right? But it was a good experience. I really loved it, and I love it more now, so that I am not there, because sometimes you don't miss the water till the well runs dry, honey, right? But I miss it now, and I would live in China. Like, I would live in China. There's some things that gets to me, like gets on my nerves, that's annoying, like the staring and stuff like that. But to tell you guys the honest truth, after a while it becomes normal. It's like a normal thing. It doesn't even bother you at times. Well, sometimes it still bothers me because Chinese have a tendency to be very racist, right? For example, I would go on the subway, right? Let's say I want to go to Shinjuku, which is the city, I guess, the capital of Nanjing. Is it? Guys, don't quote me on that, but I think so. But that's the city area, right? Downtown. So if I want to go to Shinjuku, I would have to take the subway. If I want to go and visit some of my countrymates, I would have to take the subway or I would have to take the bus, right? Because all of us were not at the same school. We were at different stuff. There were people with me, but there are other persons at other schools and stuff, depending on what they were studying. And let's say I'm on the subway or I'm on the bus and a Chinese comes in. There is a seat next to me, okay? There is a seat next to me, right? These people would rather stand up on that bus ride or that metro ride, train ride, whatever you want to call it, and not sit next to me. Why? Because I'm black. Because I'm black. Because I'm black. So they would rather stand up and not sit next to me. Or if I come in and there is a seat next to one and I would sit there, then they will, slide to the left, slide to the right, or find somewhere else to sit. So it's stuff like that is just so irritating, and it's just like, you guys cannot be serious, right? You cannot be serious. It's not that serious, honey. That means you really don't want to sit. And here what? Quite frankly, I'm good because I want extra space. So I don't need you sitting next to me, honey. I'm good where I'm at. So if you want to stand up, that's fine. You can stand. I have no problem with that. More space for me. I can rest my bag. I can sprawl out. I can do what I want. Because, more space for me, honey. But, it's just stuff like that kind of gets under your skin. But it was an experience that I will never forget, and I don't regret going to China at all. So let's talk about the next thing. Alright, so the next thing that I want to talk about that I have experienced while living in China. What is China? The next thing that I want to talk about, I had to write down my stuff because, child, it's too many things and I can't remember everything, right? Let's talk about the language barrier. Guys, when I tell you, it was a struggle. It was a struggle, right? That language ain't no easy language to learn, and to all the people who have been to China, just going to China, living in China, whether it's for 3 months, 6 months, a year, and you learned a few things, kudos to you, honey. Because when I tell you, Chinese is a very difficult language to learn. It is very difficult. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm proud of myself. I am very proud of myself because I remember when we first got to China, right? Literally, I did not know how to say any, well, I lie. Because before we went to China, we had to take a few classes, and it was not no long class, maybe like 2 weeks or so before we would be going to classes up at the Prime Minister's office somewhere there to they would just teach us like simple stuff, I guess, just to get around, at least when we first got there. So what they probably were, from my recollection, it would be something like, hi, how are you? Where are you from? How much does this cost? Because of course, when you go to a supermarket or a store, you would need to know how to ask how much does something cost and stuff like that. Basic simple stuff. It wasn't anything much. So watch me now when we reach China. Me and the other people who were with me now, I went and all of a sudden a thing. When I tell you, my roommate Ezel, big up yourself, just have to be like doing sign language, trying to to show or try to get the Chinese to understand what exactly she's trying to say. Just to, child, it was a struggle because we don't know anything. When I tell you we don't know anything, we don't know anything. So we had to be doing sign language. trying to make up our own sign language, trying to figure out how to say chicken, how to say you want this, how to say you want a bottle of water, how to say all kind of stuff, right? So it was a mess. And so that's where Chinese translators come in, or those translator apps, right? Pick up yourself, Playco, because Playco done help me through a lot. That's a Chinese to English translation app, or English to Chinese, whichever way you want to put it. When I tell you, right, I should have become a translator. I think I should switch my my job and go into translating. I would make a lot of money, because that is no easy thing to do. When I tell you we had to be translating everything, so I'm picking up my phone. I don't know how to say I want a bread. I'm gonna type in bread. The translation is gonna come up, and then I'm gonna show the person, this is what I want. I don't understand anything else. I can't express myself the way I really want to. But this is what I want, honey. Okay? So that was a struggle. That was a struggle. But like I said, I will not take back that experience for nothing, right? For nothing. All right. Let's talk about the food. Now here, right? I'm coming from Antigua, and the type of Chinese food that I sell, yeah? Me in China for 5 years. 5 years. I don't know, I'm see that food there. I don't know, I'm see that chicken and chips. I'm see that Nancy Glory. I'm see all of them things there. I'm still waiting because me say, well, me go try and forget like chicken and chips and thing. Only if I go and me not see no chicken and chips, me not see nothing. Me see all kind of something, but me not see that. So the food in China, it's an acquired taste. Well, let me not say that. Some things are an acquired taste, but some things actually taste good. I think that Chinese, they're very good cooks. I must say that. They can do their thing. They can take anything and make it into something. I can say that. They're good with that. But we are used to a more Western type of flavoring, and they use different types of seasoning and stuff, so it gives their food a different type of taste. And some things I just can't wrap my head around. Some things are just, and for me, if I'm gonna eat something, it needs to look presentable. It needs to look, pleasing to my eyes. And some of them, something just never look pleasing to me eyes, so I'm not eating it. Another thing is, I don't even know if I'm eating chicken. I don't know if I'm eating pork. I don't know what I'm eating, honey. Sometimes I don't be knowing what I'm eating. I always tell people, I would not be surprised if I ate dog meat and didn't know. I wouldn't be surprised if I ate frogs and I didn't know. I just wouldn't be surprised, because everything just look the same. Everything just look, I don't know what it is. So they will be telling you that this is chicken, but to me that's not how chicken look. It don't look so. But I just have to go with it because I'm hungry. And I don't have a choice. I'm hungry. So that was, the food was thing. So after the first year, well, I wouldn't say after the first year. I would say, yeah, after the first year when, I was more settled and everything, I started cooking for myself and stuff like that. So I would rarely eat from the cafeteria. The only time I would probably eat from the cafeteria is if I'm lazy and I don't want to cook, or nothing in my fridge to eat, or in my cupboard to eat. And the quickest thing to do, go down to the cafeteria and get some food, right? But there were some foods that were really nice, really nice. I actually miss some of those foods like baozi and jiaozi and Chinese barbecue, which is dope. I will try to insert some pictures, which is dope. Let me just say dope. Like I miss stuff like that. Kasim, if you're watching this video, that roast duck they sell off, roasted duck is a vibe. Like that's a vibe. We would buy that all the time, and we would be going to Kasim's school, and Kasim would be knowing that we're coming by him, and you best believe Kasim is making sure he calls us to tell us buy him a roast duck, so when we reach he can, you know, he can tear that up. Roast duck, it tastes good. It tastes good. But they have some really nice foods, but they have some foods that are just no. I'm not doing it. I like hot pot. And if you have been to China and you know like hot pot and you haven't eaten hot pot, then what are you waiting for? You know, that was dope. Tastes good, I miss it. You know, you can put in whatever you want into the pot and it bubbles, everything cooks and you eat it. Tastes nice, tastes really nice. So that was it. And then, you know, with the food comes eating with chopsticks. Lord God Almighty. Let me tell you, right? Sometimes you just, you know what, let me just go for a spoon because you can manage. And when I am eating, let me just let you all know now, I am not greedy. But when me eat, me want food for going for my mouth, right? Them chopstick they, you can't put nothing in the frame with them chopstick they. Me, I use the chopstick and the rice grain and them a fat. One rice grain and two. No, honey, I need to have food in my mouth. But after a while, you know, I'm kind of mastered using the chopsticks. I actually miss eating with chopsticks, and I feel like you kind of eat less when you eat with chopsticks. Maybe that's why they don't really put on so much weight. Yeah, I should buy a pair and just, you know, have it there. So when I feel like being Chinese, I can just use them. But yeah, chopsticks. I should do a video on how to eat with chopsticks. That would be interesting. Let me know in the comments if y'all want me to do that. The food was interesting. Some things were nice, some things weren't nice. And just for my health and for, you know, I just decided, look, you're just gonna have to cook your own food most of the time, which is what I did, and I survived. So me I don't know. China, living in China has taught me so many things, because can you imagine, I went to China when I was 17 or 18. I think it's more like 18. I think it's 18. I went when I was 8. I think so. Yeah, I think I went when I was 18. And can you imagine growing up in a household where you have your parents doing everything for you? If I want to go down the road, my father is gonna take me down the road, right? It's only like when I started getting a little older, you know, going to college, and so then we started taking the bus like that. But I am moving from having somebody doing something for me all the time to now me having to do everything on my own. What me know about paying bills? What do I know about electricity bill? One. What do I know about internet bill? What do I know about budgeting and having to buy my own food to stock up? What do I know about that? You tell me, because I don't know nothing at all. So now I am in this strange place with no proper guidance, nothing, and I'm having to do all these things by myself. So it's like I had to grow up quick. You know, when you're kind of sheltered in a sense, for lack of a better term, and then you just, you know, your parents just fling you in and tell you, hey, go China, and then just left you be. I had to fend for myself, right? So I had to grow up quickly. I had to learn to budget, because trust and believe, you know, if I run out of money, why do I think that I'm going to be able to call my mother or my father to ask them for money when I know they don't have it? They don't have it because they have other kids to feed and they have things to do and bills to pay and all these things. They don't have money where they can just say, hey, I put some money on your account, go ahead. Now, of course, there were times when they would have to send me money. I mean, they're my parents, but what I'm saying is, I still had to spend my money wisely and do all of that because I know that I'm not from a rich family. You know, I didn't grow up with a gold spoon in my mouth, so I had to take care of myself. And so there are many persons and many students who had to learn to grow up quick and learn to do stuff on their own when they went to China. And I think that was a good thing for me because I became very responsible, might I add. Very responsible. You know, so yeah. So next let's talk about my first impression of the dorm when I got to Nanjing. Now, I know when we were in Antigua before we left, of course, there were students before us who went to that same school. And so, you know, they told us we would go and there will be no mattress on the beds, there will be nothing, and the bathroom is another story, right? Alright, so I already done have in my mind, me could come and meet one empty bed there with just board to the bottom and no mattress span there. Alright, no problem. So of course when we went to Nanjing, we had to go and buy all those things. So now me open the bathroom door. And let me tell you, I'm gonna insert a picture if I can. Because I know for me editing, yeah, I'm getting there. But tell me why the toilet is in the floor. And when I say the toilet is in the floor, like the toilet is in the floor. In order for me to use the toilet, I had to squat. Y'all imagine me trying to squat. Me trying to squat. Imagine me trying to squat. No, like, oh, first of all, that dorm was just terrible. The room was just terrible. I feel like they could have done better. You could have done better. I understand that I'm a foreign student and I feel, well, anyway, all the dorms were like that, even for the Chinese students. But oh my God, I'm leaving my home, the comfort of my home with my good up bed, well proper bathroom, and saying, so come and have a squat. Listen, when I tell y'all, that was a struggle. And here what I meant that I was not going to squat to use no toilet. So what did I do? I went to Sugo, and Sugo is the name of the supermarket that was in our area, right? Big supermarket. So me go Sugo, and me, well, actually no, there was a Bahamian girl. She had like a seating where you can put over the toilet and sit to use the toilet, because I think those seats were used, like older elder people use those because, you know, you're older, you know, your joints are too good, and you know, we don't want no mishaps. And you best believe I went to Sugo and I bought one for myself because sis was not about to squat. I was not about to do it. Although they say, you know, there are health benefits for that and all that, I was not gonna do it. I was not gonna do it. So I purchased that. I'll post a photo. You will see what it is. And yeah, I had to do what I had to do because such girl do them things. Such girl squat, honey. Understand? I need a seat to sit on. To sit on, okay? That's what I need. Alright, so I think we all know by now that Chinese can be very nasty. Right? They can be very nasty. And when I tell you very nasty, let me tell you. So imagine coming from a place where, you know, they're just certain things we don't do. They're just certain things we don't do. And then going to a place now where you're seeing certain things happening and you're just like, do you really need to do that though? Do you really need to do that? So the first thing is the spitting. Chinese have a tendency to spit. no problem. There's nothing wrong if you want to spit, and there's nothing wrong if you're spitting. And if you know you're gonna spit in a place where nobody else is gonna be walking and stuff like that, no problem. But when you spit, you want for hello? Does the whole area need to know? Does everybody around you need to know that you want to spit? I don't think we do. We don't need to know. So why are you doing all of that just to spit? Just, if you want to spit, just spit. And then spit in a place where nobody's going to be. Then they just walk anyway and spit anyway. When I say anyway, then spit anyway. Anyway they can spit, then spit. If right now me here sit down and me want spit, me go spit. That's nasty. That is nasty. I did not like that. That was just ew. Another thing I found was that, well, the babies in China, when they're young, they don't put, we would put diapers on our kids and stuff like that. I don't see them doing that. They would have like the clothing, and then they would leave a hole around the batty area. I will try to post a picture, insert a picture so you can understand what I'm saying. They would have a hole so that if the children want to urinate, they can just urinate or defecate, right? So what I saw is that they would, if like, let's say a child wants to urinate or defecate, and we're walking on the side of the road, you know what then they could do? Then they could turn up right there and have the child stoop, and then go have the child urinate or defecate. Now tell me if that is sanitary. You tell me if that's sanitary. I don't understand. I don't understand the logics. I know that feces can be good fertilizers, but why do you want to do that? You're urinating and defecating on pavement, on the road, on the side of the road. Why? Tell me why. It's beyond me. I don't understand why they would do this. To me, that's just like nasty. The other thing is too, most of the Chinese population smoke. I don't know why y'all need to be smoking like that. I don't understand why you need to smoke, but majority of them smoke, right? And with consistent and excessive smoking, your teeth tend to become discolored and black and have a lot of nasty plaque and everything on it. Honey, that also leads to stink breath. Child, when I tell you, I could be sitting down here and a Chinese is sitting way over there and they're speaking, I can smell that person's mouth. That needs to be cancelled. That is gross. When I tell you, Chinese had a thinkest mouth. I'm not trying to degrade the race or degrade the people, but just trying to understand where I'm coming from and how I felt. That you're trying to speak to me, or I'm trying to speak to you, or I'm not even speaking to you. We're not even speaking, and I can smell your breath. Like, that's gross. I'm not like to tell you that is gross. When I tell you that is gross, and then the stench, it is a distinct smell. Lord, no. That is so serious. That I want this stinks and it. Let me tell. When I tell y'all, we foreigners, especially black foreigners, have gone through so much living in China. Y'all will only understand if you actually go and stay there for a while. You will kind of get what we're saying. But let me tell you, honey, that was crazy. Like, I can't believe I have to be staying here, sitting here and smelling your breath from over there. That's just, no. That's not nice. Alright, so we're going to talk about schooling and university, going to school in China and studying and stuff like that. So, as most of you would know, or if you don't know, if you're going to China to study, let's say you're going to study medicine, business, whatever it is, anything that you're gonna study, you first have to, and I feel like this is if your major or whatever you're studying, your courses are gonna be in Chinese, right? You have to study Chinese for 1 year. That's compulsory. You have no choice. If you are to study in China as a foreigner, you have to study the language for 1 year prior to you actually studying your major, right? So we all had to do that. Like I said earlier, it was very difficult. It was very difficult. I think my friend Sharon, big up yourself, sent me a clip the other day of me in class speaking in Chinese. Well, that was when I was first learning, and it was so difficult for me. It was so uncomfortable, just for the fact that, first of all, I am a very shy person. I am very reserved, right? I don't like to stand up in front of people and deliver anything, whether it's a speech, just to speak, just to do anything. I don't like all eyes on me. I don't like that kind of thing. It just makes me feel, oh, I'm so nervous, it's nerve-wracking. I don't like that. So studying in Chinese, we had to do grammar, we had to do listening, and we had to do spoken Chinese. So those were the three different aspects of the language that we had to study. So the grammar will be like, you can't use is and are with certain words, plural and singular and all them things, right? Because that's the foundation. So that's okay. There's some tricky stuff, but it's okay. That's fine. The listening now is where, of course, when they teach you words and stuff, they begin to teach you sentences, how to put those words into sentences. And so the listening aspect would be, they will be playing a recording, and then you will have to listen, and then they will ask questions, and you will have to answer the question based on what the recording said. So that was the listening. The listening, to me, I would say, was the most difficult, because it is different when you're learning one word here, one word there, one word there, one word there, one word there. And then when you're combining everything together now, it's just like, what are you saying? What are you saying? I don't understand what you're saying. It's just difficult. So you just have to be playing back and playing back. And so I had to spend a lot of time doing listening back at home, because the teacher would send you the material and stuff like that, or you can take your flash drive and then they will transfer it to you. You go back home in your dorm and you listen to it and try to practice, and have your listening improve. And so to me, that the listening, the tingly, that's what they would call it, tingly, because ting means to listen. So that would be, to me, that was the most difficult part of learning Chinese. That and the actual writing the Chinese characters. But when I say that I'm a very shy person, when you're studying Chinese, you have to practice to speak the language. So of course there would be times in the class where the teacher would have each person come up and speak, say, read a sentence, or just read whatever the paragraph is in the book and stuff like that. No, me, the type of person me be, God knows me, so afraid. And then you have me standing up in front of people trying to speak a language that I don't know, that I'm struggling to learn, and it's just nerve-wracking. It's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. But I had to do what I had to do, and I had to try to come out of that shyness. I'll try to insert the video so you guys can see a little piece of it. 董老师教口语，我喜欢中国，有时候，我有时候喜欢中国。The language was very difficult, and then when you're now teaching us how to write the characters, because of course we have to learn how to write the characters, because when we're going to do our major, we can't just write the pinyin, and pinyin is literally writing the words, you know, like the letters for the words. But the character now, you have to write the character when you're doing your major. So there's no pinyin writing when you're studying your major, honey. So you better learn to write those characters. So we would have to stay up, well, I can speak for myself. I would have to stay up late at night, practicing. And I would write one character like a million times. Let me tell you, I would write one character a million times, right? And go class the next day and forget how to write the character. Tell me if that ever happened to y'all if you've studied in China. Comment down below. I would forget how to write the character. No, I stay up all night, burning the midnight oil, practicing how to write this one character and go class the next day and forget how to write them. When I tell you it was a struggle, but I thank God that I got through it, because you know, you never know what is within you until you're placed in that situation and you have to overcome. And I never really thought about it before, but you know, I'm proud of myself. Trust me. If it's one thing I'm proud of myself for, is going to China, studying for 5 years, and no matter how difficult it got, I still never get teary, you know, water, whatever. Like, no matter how difficult it got, I had to do what I had to do, because hear what? I had my parents back home expecting me to perform and expecting me to do well. And I had people back home who knew that I left here to go away to study. So I don't want to come back to be a disappointment to anybody. So that was one thing that was always on my mind. Like, I can't come all the way here for 5 long years and come back without nothing, and come back with the piece of paper. Like, to me, I felt like if that would have happened, I would have been so embarrassed, like literally so embarrassed, because what was the point? Why did I go in the first place? You understand what I'm saying? So I had to work really hard. And then let's not talk about when my major started. So like, there were about 5 Antiguans in my year who went to the same school as me to study the language, right? But here the catch. All of us are at the same school for the language. Now tell me why they want to left me one day to school for do the major and everybody else gone elsewhere. Tell me. I was stuck at that school for the next 4 years. And then when I started my major and I went to my first class, I realized that I was the only foreigner in the class in my year doing that major. I studied business administration, and I was the only foreigner in that class in that year. So can you imagine going to all of my classes? Because you know, we have different courses to do. So can you imagine me going to all the classes to find out that I'm the only foreigner in all of the classes? And it's not like, say, I am a foreigner but I am white, or I am, you know, another Asian person from a different Asian country. I'm the only foreigner, and I'm the only black foreigner. So you can imagine me walking into the class the first day and everybody just looking at me like, oh, okay. So I always felt uncomfortable. Like, I always felt uncomfortable. And I don't know. I just don't know. And just know that these teachers are not treating me like I am a foreigner and I need to be, you know, they need to deal with me a little different, because first of all, I'm not Chinese. I don't know the language. It's going to be difficult for me. I don't know what y'all be saying. Whatever. These teachers should be treating me like I am a Chinese, okay? So if I thought that they were going to be a little lenient with me because I am a foreigner and I am black and I don't know anything, I was wrong. Girl, you better think again. No, they treated me exactly like how they would treat the Chinese. So I had to perform just as well as they had to, or even better than they had to. And it was a struggle, trust me. It was a struggle because they can just go to class, memorize something, read something, get the understanding, and then they're good to go. They can do whatever they want on their test. But me, bear in mind, all of our books are in Chinese, right? I had to go home. I had to translate whatever the book was saying, whatever the teacher was teaching on that day, translate it into English to get the understanding of what the teacher is saying, so that when exam time comes or when I go into the next class, I know what's going on. If not, child, I'm lost. I am lost. So when I tell you guys, this journey was so difficult. It was really difficult. And like I said, kudos to every person who has studied in China, because I know it's not easy. It is very hard. So you have that. There's a difficulty in learning. And then, you know, the whole culture shock. It's a different type of culture. A whole new environment. It's just so many things, coming at you all at once, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. But I thank God that through it all I had peace of mind, because Lord, may I tell you, sis probably would have gone crazy. So to all of you who are currently studying in China, I want to encourage you, don't give up. Don't give up. I wanted to give up many times. When I say many times, I probably wanted to give up every day. Child, sometimes I don't even want to go to class. And don't talk about when it's winter time and the play is cold. That's just even more of an excuse for me not to go to class. But I had to do what I had to do. I had to get up and I had to go. Yeah, sometimes I didn't go because I don't have the time. But I had to do what I had to do. So just an encouragement to all of you, stay focused. Don't give up. Yeah, you're gonna get tired. Yeah, you're gonna get overwhelmed. Yeah, you're just gonna wanna cry. Yeah, you're gonna wanna come home. You wanna go home. Yeah, it's normal. But keep pushing, keep going, don't stop. You will finish and you will graduate. Because let me tell you, when I tell you, baby, that my results came back, honey, and I found out that I was going to be graduating, honey, nothing to feel better. So when you work really hard and then your hard work pays off, like, best feeling ever. Best feeling ever. So when me have on for me go me extra, honey, I'm extra. You understand? Because sis had to work twice as hard to get that gown, to put on that cap, and to get that degree. I would show y'all, but I don't have the time to do all that today. But just be encouraged, stay focused, and all will be well. So like I said, I'm gonna wrap up the video now because it's really long. Like I said, I have no regrets. When I tell you I have no regrets, well, actually I have one regret. The only thing I regret is the fact that I did not travel more. I didn't travel more. And being in Asia, and you have the opportunity to go to different Asian countries at a cheaper price. And when I tell you cheap, I could have gone to Thailand, I could have gone to Japan, I could have gone to Korea, I could have gone to Mongolia, I could have gone all over the place. And another thing that I loved about me going to China and studying there is the fact that I learned about so many different countries I had no idea of, because there are people coming from all over the world to study in China. And then you got the opportunity to learn places like Kazakhstan. What is Kazakhstan? Like, I've never heard of Kazakhstan in my life. Can you imagine? So, and then there was Laos. People who were from Laos, and I'm like, I've never heard of these places. But going away to study, it's like your eyes are being opened to a different world. Like, there's so many things going on outside of what you're comfortable with being in your own country. And so that was awesome. So that was my only regret. The only regret was that I didn't travel more. The furthest I've been was to Hong Kong, which was pretty dope. I love Hong Kong. I would like to go to Hong Kong again. It's dope. So hopefully I can go back to China one day, just because I really want to. And I just want to say thank you guys for watching my video. I hope you really enjoyed it. Let me know down below what type of videos you would like to see me do, because I don't think I'm gonna make it strictly about makeup, because I feel like that can be boring sometimes. Who wants to just sit down and watch makeup all the time? Be sure to comment down below, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. If you guys have studied in China and I missed out some things that I should have mentioned in this video that you had to deal with, or that you have experienced while living there, or while you're now currently living there, please leave them in the comment. Let us have a discussion. For now, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.